YouTube, how's it going? Big day, big day. We are wrapping things up on the big silver maple slab table. Um, I have the table flipped over right now, getting ready to put the legs on. I struck a line for the center of it, and now it's time to mark the holes so that we can get these threaded inserts in to bolt this thing down. So right now, what I got going on here is I got some boards leveled up on here. In case you guys are ever wondering, if you just have your legs on and you're looking across, it's easy to look at the legs and think, oh, that's pretty close. This really exaggerates the story. And it looks really, really rough over on the one side. So the problem is with this slab is it was already thin enough that for me to get it 100% true and flat, I'd end up having to thin the table down way too much. So we're just going to kind of have to do with what we got. And that is especially why with the legs, I got the levelers on it so that we can tweak it out. All in all, it ends up being about 3/8 of an inch or so that we got to kind of tweak out of there. But just putting these boards on here, so what I do is it's kind of like you lay these, you make sure you got true flat boards on there, which I already checked them on my floor, which I know is flat, and you lay them on here, and it basically hyper exaggerates the bottom part of your table legs, so you get a really good idea where the air lies. So I know over on the far side where the limb goes off over there, I'm gonna have to shim under that a little bit, just a thin shim, so I don't gotta burn up my leveler like just trying to get it all done. So let's look at what we got here. All right, so this is the bottom of the table, obviously, like I was saying, flipped over. I marked a center line on my legs here. These are all painted up. This paint turned out awesome. But I had already I had picked a line. I kind of chose an edge, picked about the far extremes of it, struck a line, did the same over there, kind of did a cheap chalk line across it, and then I took a grease pencil and started making some marks. And this is the line we decided on. And I went 18 inches basically from the edge to this inside edge. Originally, I was going to have it be on this side against this line, but the problem ended up lying down here on this end. If I did that and put this basically flip-flopped over here, you'd be seeing too much of the leg from over here. And we got enough length on the table here that's going to look just fine. So, back to the point. Time to take my grease pencil, mark these holes on each end. That way we can get these things drilled out and get those Concept 13 Rampatech inserts drilled in, set, and start bolting these legs down. All right. So what we got cooking here? I took the grease pencil, went ahead and colored in the spots. So you got a little bit of play here. The way they make these holes. So just so if you got to wiggle it back and forth either side, and realistically even a little bit of play going this way. But then I took a punch and I eyeballed in that dead center of each one and did that on all these. So I'm going to go ahead and drill these out. The Rampatech ones, they call for a 10 millimeter bit. Ends up basically being a 3/8. It's a little bigger than a 3/8, so I'm going to have to be careful here. The issue we're going to run into, like I said, the way we were scooting this leg to get out of the visibility of this, the problem is this side is so saturated with epoxy, I have to be really careful with the inserts. I'm almost probably going to have to go a size bigger and actually epoxy the insert in so that we don't get any shattering, God forbid, cracking or any of that in. So we'll see how these go. Like I said, I'm not 100% familiar with the Rampatech ones. I ordered them so far. I've been super happy with them, but this is going to be my first time using these on the epoxy. So we will see. All these other ones are going to be fine, but this corner is going to be fun. All right, so these are the Concept 13 threaded inserts. So the idea is, let me get this to focus. You know, we'll drill this hole in, drill that down in. These are 3/4 inch deep. And then we'll take an Allen key. It's got an inset Allen key. And you thread this down in. So each leg's got 12 of them total on this. And that way we can take the legs off, put the table into the house, and then just re-bolt them right to it, and all done and good. Shout out to Concept 13 up in Canada. All right, that was almost too easy. I'll have to check myself. So I might give it one more hair twist, but yeah, it pulls itself flush, gets right underneath there, even with the little bit of epoxy on the surface. But so I'm going to go ahead and do all these so that way we can bolt this leg on and get a look at it. All right, so I got all those set in. I went ahead and got antsy and threw the bolts in real quick. It takes, I think it's a 4mm to drive those in. I don't even have them tightened down all the way. Because I got to take it back off to transport it, but this thing has no give. And like I said, I had even thought about putting 2 in the middle, but it's 100% not necessary. Those things are locked down. I know some guys said they were maybe putting glue on the threads. Honestly, those things sink down in hard. I could tell when I was bolting it down, when I did just tighten it up a little bit, I could tell there was no give. I'm really not worried about that. In fact, I kind of like it, so that way if I had to take them back out, not that I would, yeah, I'm tickled pink. So the only thing is I want to check one more on this video, is I want to go ahead and do those, see how that pans out. Wow, oh wow. So that went really well. These two that were in the actual deep epoxy, well, I should say 100% epoxy. It took a little bit of running it in, backing it out, like cleaning the threads, running it back in, bringing it back out, just because, you know, the epoxy was kind of gumming it up. But yeah, could not be happier how that turned out. That worked out really well. All right, so these legs are bolted on. Once again, didn't tighten them down all the way, But this thing's ready to be flipped over tomorrow. Got some help coming over because there's no way I can flip this on my own without breaking it or my back. So I'll do one last snippet tomorrow when I get this thing flipped over before I disassemble it to ship it off. Well, take it and deliver it. Time to go to bed. All right, YouTube. Well, I went and got some sleep, and then I forgot to shoot any more video. But I have a lot of pictures. I'm going to post them up after I'm done talking, so you guys can see a little montage of what I did. I took the table outside. It was a cloudy day, but there's still a ton of reflection. There's so much glare on that table. But client loved the table. Looks amazing in their house. I'll post up some pictures of it. But I wanted to thank everyone who followed along while the table was being made. That was my first big table that I got to do, and I was super stoked to work on something like that. So it's not often to get clients like that just go along with building a big table. So if you guys liked what you saw in this video, please subscribe. Hopefully get to go do a lot more projects like this. I'm really getting antsy in the pantsy to try and get back to doing some actual just milling. And yeah, good things to come. I will talk to everyone again soon. You guys take care.